I think she should have been on the team too. But definitely Caitlin Clark. Now, I didn't quite understand how you bench Diana Taurasi, how you can't find any time for one of the greatest players ever, who can shoot, by the way.
Stephen A. Smith just exposed the unthinkable. Caitlin Clark is being offered a massive contract from Europe worth more than the entire WNBA roster combined. But here's the real bombshell. This isn't just about money. It's about escape. From scandals. From sabotage. From the chaos consuming the league. Is the WNBA losing its brightest star to a foreign battlefield? Or is Caitlin Clark finally making her most powerful move yet? You won't believe what Stephen just revealed and what the league is desperate to hide.
We're just so proud and privileged to be here, and I'm honored to be up with these two very special people who are leaving their imprint all over the world of culture these days. Thank you. So now our master of ceremonies today is not going to be me. It's going to be Mr. Stephen A. Smith. And when I asked him if he would come out here to be a part of our special homecoming, wasn't even a hesitation, because of two words: Caitlin Clark. So with that and all the love we're feeling out here, I'm going to let Stephen kick it off and get to some interviewing, which he does so well with Caitlin.
Well, first of all, what's up, everybody? What's up? We all know I'm many things, but I ain't a liar. This lady right here, Caitlin Clark, is my favorite college basketball player in the world. She is something special. And Caitlin, I'm just gonna start because they wanna hear from you, obviously. You know, it's when you see this crowd out here, knowing they're out here for you, what does it feel like for you to be a part of this and to be such a leading voice and face on this campus?
Yeah, that's the reason I came here, is because of crowds like this. So thank you guys for coming. Maybe if it's not for me, it's for Stephen A., the man. But no, that's why I chose Iowa, but also I'm an Iowa kid. I grew up here. I grew up rooting for the Hawkeyes. I grew up 2 hours from this place, so it's really special to me. And you know, my first year here was COVID, and it was really different, but now here I get to experience it with all of you. We're gonna play in front of 15,000 people every single game this year. Sold out crowd, yeah. 50,000 people for the crossover at Kinnick next Sunday, so.
Stephen A. Smith just dropped a bomb on national television. Caitlin Clark, the most talked about rookie in WNBA history, might be packing her bags for Europe. And this isn't just about basketball. It's about betrayal, burnout, and billions.
Three people. Okay. One is the fan that videoed that Chicago Sky game. The other, who was the young lady that took video during COVID, when the men had this weight room available to them, and they had.
There you go, Stephen A. Yep.
Her.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right there. Right there. That girl right there. That's who deserves it. That's her. Right there. Give her credit. Her. And last but not least, Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. Ladies, let me tell y'all something. You got to sit up there and pay attention to the rising tide. It lifts all boats. You can go out on the court and go at Caitlin Clark with the fierceness that your competitive juices demand. But in the process of doing that, you learn to love that girl. That girl went up in her press conference and said and spoke about flying commercial. Mm-hmm. They didn't sit up there and make this decision until after she said that. You understand? Now, everybody want to sit up there and talk about, oh my God, why did it have to come to that? Damn it, forget all that. She did it. She didn't have to, but she did. She got her contract. She getting her bag. She got her endorsement deal, but she looked at...
She makes $76,000 with the Indiana Fever, but Europe just offered her a contract that could triple her annual WNBA salary overnight. An 8-year, $28 million Nike deal. Plus endorsements from State Farm, Gatorade, Buick, and more. Now, a multi-million euro offer from overseas has fans asking, will Caitlin Clark abandon the WNBA?
That Dawn Staley perfectly encapsulated everything. She said, you are one of the GOATs of this game, because of her impact and her greatness. She definitely deserves and warrants that level of respect. Devoid of a title, she basically deserves that level of respect because she basically put the sport on its shoulders and uplifted the sport. We can't take that away from her. But I'm going to tell you what's interesting, and nobody has brought this up. I'm going to bring this up, okay? You know, one of the things we didn't talk about was what happened Friday night. That damn call by that official with 3.9 seconds left that gave, that helped. Now, I'm not going to sit up there and tell you that it was the wrong call. I just hate the fact that the call was made at that particular moment in time. You want to definitively see the players decide it as opposed to the officials, even though technically speaking, it seemed to be the right call, although not in the moment, but then you watch the replay over and over again, not in real time, and you say, okay, you can understand how that call was made. So none of us brought that up. Here's why I'm bringing it up now. One of the greats is like, yo, we gonna see when you get here. How it's gonna be different. Now she said that, and I'm saying to you, that does give Caitlin Clark an opportunity to show, excuse me, yeah, it is different. And the level that I've entered is different, and the support I'm gonna have is different. So guess what? More might be coming. When we see that, if we see that, we might be talking to her about her in an even more elevated light.
Yeah, I think the reason why players like, sorry, Shannon, really quick,
Go ahead.
Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird say this is because a lot of people have experienced the women's basketball season from the context of the last 2 years.
She's exhausted. 11 straight months in the spotlight. No break. Political firestorms, racial drama, and physical abuse on the court. Even Indiana's head coach admits Clark has endured a brutal rookie year, and Europe could be her escape.
Even after 20 years, they can't get enough of it. One more year echoing throughout the arena. When you feel that love, what thoughts and emotions go through you?
Yeah, I just got out of the locker room and I was talking to BG, and I'm like, there's still days where I'm like, I can still do this. I still want to play basketball. And then there's, the flip side where there are days where I'm crawling out of bed. I think the tide turned, obviously, when Matt and Josh said this in the picture. I think they just completely changed how people feel about this franchise, obviously with the Mercury and the Suns, and what we were able to do in the offseason with Nick as our new GM, hiring Nate. I think it's brought a different vision to our team going into the future. And obviously the last couple seasons were difficult, and I think you can see this team and this franchise and what it means and what it stands for. And obviously Tosh and Ka and Beck are a big part of the future going forward. What BG's been able to do here for the last 13 years, and she's going to step into the role of really being the person who represents this franchise, and the way she's done it has been amazing. And I think Sophie has really stepped up into that leadership role of, this is what it looks like to play in this building, to put that jersey on. So I think we're in a good place going forward regardless.
Diana, we saw fans crying in the stands. Yeah. How are you able to control your emotions throughout this whole game? I mean, seeing your family, seeing Sue, how are you able to keep it all together?
It's not easy, and I wasn't trying to fight any type of emotion or feel a certain way. I just kind of took it all in.
Smith didn't hold back. He blasted the WNBA for their delayed upgrades, claiming they only acted after Clark exposed their hypocrisy. From flying coach to locker room inequality, Stephen A. says it all changed only when Clark spoke up.
I'm not pissed to the point where I'm annoyed and I'm going to call people out their names, or especially people that I love, like the person I'm about to talk about in a few minutes. But certain things need to be corrected for the record, because certain things people are just ill-informed about. And the publications that grab the headlines and try to manipulate things and make things seem as if there's something that they're not. I understand that some folks are desperate for clickbait. That's how they do it. They don't care about accuracy. They just care about talking shit.
and not knowing what the hell they're talking about. So I'm here for it. And that's fine, because that's one of the reasons I'm in good shape, because I don't hold stuff inside all the time and let stuff foment, and ultimately an implosion takes place and I'm the one that suffers because I'm unhealthy. No, I believe, and as I've said this to family and friends throughout my life, I believe the best form of stress relief is reciprocation. When people stress you, stress the hell out of them. And that's how you'll alleviate your stress, because they'll know stress is coming down the pike and they won't want the damn trouble. So maybe they won't bring you trouble. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And it's regarding the subject of Caitlin Clark. For those of you who don't know, she's a former star at Iowa in college. Played in the national championship game before losing to South Carolina. She's number 1 overall pick for the WNBA draft. She is a special talent, to say the least, even though she's not having a special year because the Indiana Fever are stinking up the joint. They've got the second worst record in the league. Only the Washington Mystics are worse, who are 0-8. The Indiana Fever are 0-9, but that's not the story involving Caitlin Clark and all the drama that surrounds her in this particular.
Some players aren't celebrating Clark's rise, they're warning her. Diana Taurasi said, "We'll see how it is when she gets here." That wasn't a welcome, it was a threat. But Caitlin isn't backing down. She's drawing out elite performances, even from those trying to shut her down.
When Ryan Ruocco said, Caitlin Clark is possessed, I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. At times, she was unconscious. For me, watching that game, it's one of those games where you can't even be mad. Like, you can't even be mad at Caitlin Clark. You can't hate on her. You can't say anything negative about the way she performed. There's not one thing you could take away from that and be like, oh, she was this, or oh, she didn't do that. She checked every single box. That's why Kim Mulkey hugged her so aggressively at the end of the game.
In Europe, she's not just wanted, she's worshipped. Teams in Turkey, Italy, and Spain are prepared to offer her 5 times more than the WNBA. Diana Taurasi once made $1.5 million in Russia. Imagine what Caitlin could earn in 2025.
I don't know. I think just getting some time to relax and reset. And then honestly, just like getting in here and getting to work on some stuff that we probably haven't got to work on all year long, or just like, break down analytics and find ways that we have to improve. A lot of that is defensively for us. Like, we've done a pretty good job at scoring the ball. I think we score it 87 points a game. So just improving defensively, I think that's the biggest thing. And getting in here even on my own and working on some stuff that I want to work on. So all of that has been really good, honestly.
Is there some advantage to having like a practice day and sort of an in-between day? It's not sort of a constant grind right now. You can reset your brain just a little bit in these couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've had like the weekends off still. So like that's kind of been nice, where we go during the weeks and then, you have the weekends off to kind of do what you need to do, whether that's, see family, see friends, work on things that you want to work on, improve on things that you want to improve on. So I think it's been good. You don't have to mentally prepare for games. That takes a lot of mental preparation, and it's mentally taxing at the same time. So just getting that reset has been really good for us. But it feels like, our next game is really right around the corner next week. So it comes fast. So we'll really pick it up here in the next week and a half.
Is there an element where, okay, now we're ready to play, we're ready to get back to it now?
Yeah, I honestly kind of feel that already. I feel like I'm ready to get back out there and get playing, but that's probably because that's really all I've known over the course of the last, year. So I feel like I'm at that point.
What did you personally learn in the first half of the season that you can take into the second half?
I mean, I think a lot. I think it's just like continuing to adjust to this game. It's a lot different than a college game. Learning it from game to game and taking that with me, and seeing how defenses are guarding me, learning my teammates, building relationships with them, building that chemistry. That's the best way we can improve. So honestly, I could probably make a long list of the things I've learned. It's just continuing to add to that every day and carry it over. And I think I'm, continuing to do a good job of that.
She's not just hype, she's history in the making. Rookie of the Year frontrunner. Leading the league in assists and three-pointers. Selling out every game, home and away. Even State Farm Arena had to increase seating just to handle the Caitlin Clark effect.
I'm more speaking about Caitlin.
Expect that. Any thoughts at all? Thanks.
I know. Unfortunately, I don't. I love kids. I've loved kids since I was a kid, and so most times if a young person caught my eye, I was going to try to interact with them if I could. I probably have more memories of me being Caitlin's age, as a 10-year-old and hugging a Cynthia Cooper or a, Cheryl Swoops. So it's just really, really cool to to think one of those little girls became Caitlin Clark. So I think it just goes to show you when you just do your best to be in the moment and treat people with kindness, just be present when you can. It really makes a big difference. And looking at the type of person and leader that she can be with people was influenced by something that I did. And she can do the same for another little girl, little boy. It's just incredible.
She's still just a 22-year-old woman carrying an entire league on her shoulders. And fans are terrified. If she leaves even for a season, the WNBA might crumble under its own politics and poor management.
Kind of remind you she's kind of built like a female version of Scottie Pippen. You see how long and angular she are. She can meet her at the point. She can contest shots without fouling. But look, Caitlin Clark had an unbelievable rookie season. I think a lot of people might be surprised by that. But you don't put up the numbers that she put up in college and not figure it out. She's a gym rat. You can tell she's a gym rat, and she was going to figure it out. She struggled. She's not the first rookie to struggle in their first playoff appearance. So I'm not surprised that she struggled. Give DeWanna Bonner a lot of credit for causing that struggle.
You know, for me, guys, it was a rookie masterclass. When you think about the statistics that Caitlin was able to put up, the way she was able to elevate her teammates. You have to think, Caitlin Clark comes in, the entire...
Stephen A. ended with a chilling truth. She uplifted this league. If y'all don't protect her, she's gone. And when she's gone, your ratings go with her. The WNBA has been warned. Breaking overnight, Stephen A. Smith just dropped a bombshell. Caitlin Clark is done with the WNBA. Reports of a massive overseas contract have surfaced, and it's bigger, bolder, and more jaw-dropping than anything we've seen before. Could the face of American women's basketball really be packing her bags for Europe? And what Stephen A. just exposed? It changes everything. Stick around, because this isn't just a contract. This could be the Yendi of the WNBA as we know it. It started with a whisper, then a leak. And now it's confirmed. Caitlin Clark has been offered a jaw-dropping European contract reportedly worth millions more than her current WNBA salary. This isn't just a rumor. According to Stephen A. Smith, she got her bag. But she looked out for others, too. That alone tells us this move isn't just personal, it's political. Let's not pretend the league didn't see this coming. Caitlin Clark earns just $76,000 in base WNBA salary, but she's the single biggest driver of ticket sales, TV ratings, and global media attention. With over $28 million in Nike endorsements and appearances in ads for State Farm, Gatorade, Buick, and more, Clark is making superstar money, just not from the WNBA. So why stay in a league where the pay doesn't match the impact? That's the question now haunting Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA front office. And Stephen A. just lit the fuse. Stephen A. didn't hold back. During his segment, he said, and we quote, "You can go out there and go at Caitlin Clark with your fiercest energy, but in the process, you learn to love that girl." Asterisk, and then the mic drop. She didn't have to speak up about WNBA players flying commercial. But she did. And after that, policies changed. Sources reveal Caitlin Clark has been offered a multi-million-dollar deal with a top-tier European club, reportedly from Spain or Turkey. These clubs have budgets rivaling the NBA's minor league affiliates, and they offer private jets, personal trainers, and tax-free salaries. Compare that to what Clark faces in the WNBA: relentless media hate, on-court fouls ignored by officials, and being physically targeted by other players trying to make a statement. Who wouldn't consider leaving? Since Clark's arrival, WNBA viewership has soared by 170%. Indiana Fever games sell out. Her jersey shattered sales records. But as soon as Clark was eliminated from the playoffs, a viewership plummeted by over 80%. Think about that 80%. Without Clark, the WNBA is fading again. Fans didn't just tune in for basketball. They tuned in for her. And now that she may be gone, the silence in those arenas is deafening. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: resentment. Diana Taurasi's comments, Sue Bird's passive digs, even hostile fouls from Chindi Carter. None of this is by accident. The league isn't just divided on the court, it's divided at the top. Media and former players have targeted Clark as a threat because they know she's becoming bigger than the WNBA itself. And now Stephen A. has made that public. let's not sugarcoat it. If Caitlin Clark leaves for Europe, the WNBA may never recover. She is the ratings. She is the attendance. And now, she might be gone. Stephen A. said it best, she uplifted the sport. She deserves that respect even without a title. Asterisk, if this move goes through, we could be witnessing the biggest talent loss in the history of women's basketball. So, what happens next? Will Clark accept the overseas offer? Will Kathy Engelbert make a last-minute move to save face? Or is this the moment the league realizes it was never ready for the Caitlin Clark era? One thing is clear, this story is far from over. And Stephen Yes' truth bomb just sent shockwaves across the entire sports world. What do you think? Should Caitlin Clark take the European deal? Is Stephen A. right? Has she outgrown the WNBA? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more explosive coverage. Because in the WNBA, the game is changing, and we're here to expose every play.